Hello and welcome to the SPH Teaching Kitchen's online cooking series. My name is Emily, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to make our mango ice cream. This is a very simple and easy dessert to make. It only has two ingredients. We have frozen mango and frozen banana. So there's no added sugar, there's no dairy, there's no cream, just pure fruit in our delicious frozen dessert. So this is going to be really great for those summer days where you just want something really cold and satisfying. This is going to be a great treat for that. For our mango, we're going to use 2 cups of frozen mango, and at least where I live, sometimes frozen fruit can actually be kind of expensive, but I can usually find fresh fruit on sale. So I like to buy mangoes when they're on sale, let them get really, really ripe, and then cut them up and freeze them. This is about one very large mango that's cut up, so it gave me about 2 cups. And I'm going to add this to my blender. So you do need a blender or a food processor for this. And I also recommend letting your mango sit out at room temperature for 5 to 10 minutes before you go to make this. It just makes it a lot easier to blend everything together. In addition to our mango, we're going to use banana as well. So we're going to use 1 large banana here. And again, I like to just buy fresh bananas, let them get really ripe, and freeze them. The last time I froze bananas, they were very soft, almost liquid when I froze them, so they kind of froze together into one block. And then I just went and cut that frozen banana into what about 1 large banana would be. Now for the banana, I recommend cutting this into really small pieces before we add it to the blender. That again just helps it to blend up a little bit easier. Once your banana is cut up, you can add that to your blender as well. Now you could try making this without banana, but I really like adding it to my mango ice cream because it adds some sweetness there. Those bananas are very sweet on their own, and that also helps with the texture of the ice cream. It makes it a lot more smooth and creamy. Once everything's in your blender, we can go ahead and blend. It might be a little tricky to blend at the beginning, so have a spoon or a spatula on hand to scrape down the sides of your blender as you go. So if your fruit is still pretty frozen, what you're going to notice is your blender is just chopping it up into really small pieces, and it's not looking quite smooth yet. Just be patient. Those smaller pieces are going to thaw a lot faster, and eventually you will get a nice, smooth, creamy ice cream. I have a tamper on hand so I can kind of push things down as they blend. If you don't have a tamper that came with your blender, what you can do is every so often, just grab a spoon and scrape down the sides of your blender, and that's going to encourage everything to blend evenly. So eventually you're going to see that it is going to start to become smooth and creamy. You just have to stick with it. One thing you want to make sure that you don't do is add a lot of liquid to this. Now if you wanted to, you could add up to a 1/4 cup of milk or coconut milk to this to thin it out a little bit, but you don't want to add too much liquid to this because then you're just going to get a smoothie. And that's still going to be delicious, but that's not what we're going for here, so either don't add any liquid at all or just a little bit if you feel like you need to. Towards the end of blending, it is going to start to hold together. It's going to be nice and creamy. You just got to stick with it a little bit more. I still have a few more chunks of banana in there that I want to blend, but we're looking really good here. Alright, so after a few minutes of blending, we do have a really nice, smooth ice cream. You can see it's holding its shape pretty well. It's not melted yet. This is more of a soft serve consistency, so you could eat this right away. If you want this to be a little bit firmer, you could stick this in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes. Now this is best if you eat it right after you make it or after having it in the freezer for just a few minutes. But if you do want to make this ahead of time, or if you made more than you need, you can keep this in the freezer. It is going to get pretty hard in the freezer, so I recommend just pulling it out, letting it sit on your counter for 10 to 20 minutes, and then it will be a really nice texture to eat after it's been previously frozen. And so we can see that we can use an ice cream scoop here and get some nice looking scoops of that ice cream. Thank you for joining the SBH Teaching Kitchen's online cooking series. This has been our recipe for mango ice cream, and we'll see you again for the next one.